everybody. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. So I just sat down and made a new intro. I figured it was time. We're getting out of spring and summer. We are now in fall and going into winter, and Halloween is almost upon us. So why not make a Halloween themed intro? I just thought it'd be fun. Anyway, so I'm still trying to keep up with all of Chantal's shenanigans. She was actually quiet today. She hasn't gone live at all, and I'm okay with that because what's the sense if she has nothing to say, nothing new to report? What's the point? So I'm just catching up with all of her past content. She did a live called Well, that went on for, good Lord, Chantal, 3 hours. Really? Really? 3 hours, and you really don't have much to report. It's the same old thing. But something new just happened today, y'all. And it doesn't have to do with Foodie Beauty. It has to do with Amberlyn Reed. So there is a channel. Her name is Rachel, and she took some time off. And she came back with a whole lot of screenshots from a whole lot of receipts between Amberlyn Reed and Emily. Ooh. And Rachel put out a video that's over 2 hours long showing the receipts, and I just watched part of it. I don't think Amber's going to be very happy. As a matter of fact, I think her and Emily are going to be fighting tonight. And we'll cover a little bit of that with the Twitter peeps. But I'm going to keep my react to basically on Chantal today. And not to worry, ladies and gentlemen, if Chantal gets boring, if she starts talking about food, if she starts talking about her stupid, boring childhood stories, we're going to just fast forward through that because I'm going to try to turn a 3 hour live stream into like an hour and a half react, maybe. We're going to cut this down by a lot. So y'all know what time it is. It's time for the Twitter peeps. All right, so it's time for the Twitter peeps. Let's just dive into it. Okay, let me just go ahead and switch on over to Twitter. So for those of you that are on Twitter, that you'd like to follow me on Twitter, there's my handle, Wild Girl Sarah. And for those of you that are not on Twitter and you really don't care for the Bird app, can't say that I blame you. It can get pretty crazy there. But I do the peeps for you too, so you can keep up with all the Twitter stuff. So let's start here with the first tweet courtesy of Wonder Mom saying the measurement of a mocha cup. Height 2 inches, 5 centimeters, diameter 2.5 inches, 6.5 centimeters, mug capacity 3.5 ounces or 80 milliliters. Foodie Beauty is a freak show and it's insane. So there's the cup in Foodie's hand. Good Lord, Foodie. And just for context, y'all, like Foodie and I are kind of on the petite side. I'm a little bit taller than Foodie, but you know, she's Foodie without the body mass should actually be pretty doggone tiny. And y'all look at my hands, okay? Look at my wrists. Foodie should be smaller than me, and her hands are huge. Huge. And here's this is the cup in a normal hand, what it should look like. Good grief, Foodie. When are you going to stop? Sassy Cat says, it is incredible to me how when it comes to traveling to see Salah, she has zero health problems. But when it comes to leaving him, it is just impossible. She is on blank's door. Yeah, like when she had to get out of Kuwait, boy, she got out in a hurry, didn't she? She sure did. No hesitation, no nothing. She got the heck out of there. And she got the heck to Syria when she wanted to go see Salah. But now when it's time to go, she's dragging her feet and making excuses. Raga says Foodie Beauty pre-Kuwait arc now in Syria. She hasn't gained weight though, you guys. She's lost weight with all the stress and limited food options. Give me a break, you unit. Okay, so these are all screenshots from when Chantal was still in Canada, when she was still at the Canadian villa. As you can see, there's a marked difference in her face, in her body. Like she could still wear, normal size clothes. And the bottom picture down here on the bottom right, that is her being with Salah. So apparently her being in the Middle East has not been good for her because she's not going out. She's not moving. She's not doing anything. And here is her now. Lord Chantal, listen, if you're not close to 600 pounds, I'll eat Natter's cooking. All right, let's talk about the situation with Amber, like I mentioned earlier. So this is a post courtesy of Sandy Quesadilla saying, I can already hear, oh Lordy, it's Jordy cackling about this one. Oh, Jordy's going to have a field day with this. So here are part of the screenshots that Rachel was showing during her video. And this has to do with the fight or the argument that Amberlynn had with Tommy or Emily. Let's see. And so many screenshots. Now, a lot of people might be asking, how is it that Rachel got these screenshots? Well, Emily was talking to not just Mr. Snowflake, but also with Rachel. So Rachel got a lot of screenshots and decided to sit down and make this video. So yeah, and the video was posted about an hour ago and it already has 6,000 plus views. I think the video is on track to be at over 20K views by midnight. So a lot of people are watching. Sandy Quesadilla says, well, that's one heck of a start, Amber. So Amber's over here on the left saying, when my dad would wake me up screaming, this person says, that's unforgivable. You physically laid hands on me. This is Emily talking. Amber says, I was trying to calm you down and hold you. I'm doing so. I tripped over the blanket on the floor. Pretty sure I hurt my ankle. Emily says, by pushing me and squeezing my arm and my body, slamming me when I was trying to leave. And then this doesn't even make sense. Look at this. Look at this bottom comment. The Amber says, I wondered how you ended up on the floor, but that explains it. So if you're holding on to Emily, you don't know how she ended up on the floor? What? I mean, I don't know. It makes no sense to me. Sandy Quesadilla says, Amberlynn, when she wakes up this afternoon and finds out Emily sent Rachel all those messages that make her look absolutely insane. Well, Amberlynn was live earlier for a very short period of time, but I'm sure she got off the live when she realized that Rachel had released her video. Maybe she wanted to go watch it. And then she could assess how bad the damage really is going to be today. Something positive. Antidepressant content says, this is Oscar, the cat who never missed a class. He's attending school for years. Now he's everyone's favorite classmate and the campus legend. So this cat actually goes to class. They'll just walk in the classroom, take a seat with the students, and take a nap during the lesson. And then the teacher wakes him up when the lesson's over. And he's been doing this for a long time. Good for him. Fat Cow Chronicles says, just saying. Fat Cow Chronicles says, as for Foodie Beauty saying that as a Middle Eastern wife, you are expected to be extremely this and extremely that. As a former wife in the Middle East, I can confidently say, no, you don't. You are expected to do the bare minimum, and they really do appreciate you making an effort. The biggest hurdle I had was being sociable, as I'm very much a homebody, but at least I tried. So Chantal's trying to make it seem like Salah's family, they're just, working her like a mule, and that's simply not the case. But thank you for saying that, Fat Cow Chronicles. Let's see, what else do we got here? Nature and Animals says, after that day, Gary was never invited to the log again. So y'all know this game. People get on a log and try to knock each other off. Doggone it, Gary. We were enjoying our sunbathing session and you messed us up. How could you do that to us? We won't forget this, They lost the log game. Enigma 2025 says she always had a ticket to leave on October 2nd. That fake fight of her yelling and then faking fainting was an excuse to stay. All she did was cancel her ticket she already had. She then scheduled a new ticket to leave sooner. Is this her lying again? Of course it is, but let's listen.
It hurts, but at the same time, I know it's necessary. Like, we can't be together. I'm going to have to, leave. I'm going to keep my ticket and leave in October because, He did promise me no harm. Two, or B.
He was never going to harm you. You're his cash cow. You are his pay pig. Why would he hurt you? If you're going online and you're making money and you're giving it to him, why would he hurt you?
Alphanumerical. I just can't afford it. Like, I just can't. Like, I had all this budgeted out.
There's the real reason why she's not leaving sooner. Y'all, she can't afford it. Despite all the money she was given by her beezers on PayPal, all the PayPal donations that have come since then, despite the fact that she's been getting her YouTube checks, and she herself has said, I'm in Syria, I'm not paying rent. She can't afford it? How long has she been in Syria? It's been a minute. So where the heck is her money going? I think when she finally does come home to Canada, the only money she'll have in pocket is her emergency fund that she's got stashed away and maybe one YouTube paycheck. The rest of the money is already gone.
I was supposed to like stay. I just can't afford it. Like, I just can't. Like,
lady, let me ask you a question. How is it that you've been in Syria for as long as you have? And you're making the money that you do on YouTube and you're over there yelling and screaming, I can't afford it. When everybody, their mom, sister, and grandmother have come forward and said, hey, go to an extended stay there for a month. And while you're there, I'm sure the Beezers will send you more money. I don't think they're going to send you much more while you're in Syria because they're waiting for the next chapter of the story. And you're sticking your feet in the mud about, writing the next chapter. So if you're waiting for the Beezers to give you more money, they're not gonna. You're not going to get much more.
I had all this budgeted out.
The words Foodie, beauty, and budget do not belong in the same sentence. They just don't get along together. Foodie does not budget, okay? She got herself in the predicament that she's in because she did not budget, because she is not smart with money. She was making $20,000, $30,000 a month. During Crackhead Olympics, that money's gone. That income is forever gone and she will not get it back. She got all kinds of money problems just because she's stupid when it comes to money. Rather than take the money and put it where it needs to go, it's all about supplying her wants. If she wants food, the money goes there. If she wants party favors, the money goes there. She refuses to pay for what she needs to, like paying money towards her tax debt, paying money towards the bankruptcy, paying money towards actually getting back to Canada so she can make a decent income. Nope, she's a child. And she's going to be rebellious. And screw you, Canada. How dare you ask me for rent? Screw you, and how dare you ask me to pay my taxes? She'll live on the street before she gives somebody else her money.
Supposed to like stay longer, even longer than that.
Yeah, okay. Keep staying in Syria and keep thinking that Salah would just put up with you and put up with you and put up with you and put up with you. But I'm sure the family has different ideas. Just because he is stuck on, bleeding you for all your money doesn't mean the family's happy about you being there. And if you think it's going to go on much longer, you're wrong. Like, your time is just about up. Queen Jellybean says, Foodie Beauty, learning the hard lesson that it's hard out there for a 41-year-old degenerate. She really thinks people want to just hand over their keys to some bad credit, filthy losers simply because they have $1,000 when it will cost them tons to repair the damage she leaves. Exactly. Yeah, there are some greedy landlords out there. I'm not going to deny that. And some of the rent may seem unreasonable, but it's what they want. It's what they feel their property is worth. But I do see this side of the landlord that if they rent a property, they want to rent it to somebody that A, can pay their rent, B, they can be sure won't damage the property, C, won't be a nuisance. And she checks off all the boxes. There's nothing that they can rely on. She's got a history of damaging property. And if she's begging for money online, obviously she might have trouble paying her rent. So no, the landlord's not going to feel good about her. Cats for Happiness says he woke up and chose violence. Aw, look at that little baby booger. Look at that. I love when cats like walk at you sideways, like you want to fight, you you want to do something, do something. It's so cute. Nature is amazing says a man noticed that his neighbor's cats were coming to his property to drink water. So he set up a camera to see who else was drinking water. So it looks like this is like a watering hole for several species. You've got raccoons, you've got a skunk, you've got foxes. Like there's a lot of creatures coming here to get some water. I'd be careful of the skunks though. You know, you get what else have we got here? You've got cats. Honestly, I wouldn't, if there are cats out there, I wouldn't leave the cats out there with the coyotes. Because, you know, sometimes coyotes, they unalive cats thinking that they're, and there's a bear. Look at the, we got ourselves a bear. It's like a little wildlife preserve. That's pretty cool. Antidepressant content says, don't touch my baby boy. So there's mom. You know, you've got the baby. Mom's like, don't touch my little one. Go away. All right, so that's it for the Twitter peeps. It didn't take us long. I'm okay with that because Foodie's live stream is stupidly long and I'm not happy about that. But I'll get over it. All right, so there she is. And y'all need to stop calling her Grimace, okay? Stop it. Don't ruin my childhood. I'm not happy about that. Yes, I know she's dressed in a purple abaya. I get the comparison. But do you have to use Grimace? Can we do something else? I'm just saying. Let's go.
Do you stream your whole day? No, a few hours, most of it. Hey, Deborah. My wiggle arm has gotten huge. What's going on? Thank you, gal.
What do you mean, what's going on? You don't do anything all day. You don't even try to move. You don't try to walk. You're taking in at least 4, 5, 6,000 calories a day, and you wonder, what's going on? Where's this weight coming from? Girl, calories in, calories out. And there's nothing but calories going in and there's none being burned off. It's just simple, math. You don't subtract, it'll keep building up.
Felicia, she gave you money. Who? Michaela Nagoria. I don't like her. She gets on my nerves. I don't hate her personally. It's just every time I'm scrolling on TikTok and I hear her fake accent, I just want to scream. Hi, everybody.
And yet, Chantal, you're someone that you put on this fake baby voice. It just gets on my last nerve. And that baby voice did not show up until Salah. So you're not one to talk about other people and how they change their voices or what their accents are. Every time you get with a new dude, you talk different, you act different, you dress different. It all depends on the guy you're with. You don't have any personality of your own. You take on other people's personalities.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. You can't stand her either. Yeah, no, there's kids somewhere else. So I got to use the washroom already. Just even thinking of drinking coffee makes it. Man.
Lord, how mercy. The size of her hand. Foodie, what are you doing?
Isn't this hilarious? Look at my hand.
That's frightening. That's frightening. See my hand? Hers should be smaller than me compared to her hand. Lord, girl, you need to get out of there.
Cheers.
You know what's reminding me of, and this is I'm just getting this picture in my head. I don't know if anybody out there is a fan of Tom Petty. Like, he did a video for a song called Don't Come Around Here No More. And the theme was Alice in Wonderland. And there is a scene of the girl playing Alice and she's holding a cup and suddenly her hand is super huge and the cup is super small. That's the picture I'm getting in my head right now.
I hate that. I would not want to sound like her. Like, My fake Canadian accent? I have a fake Canadian accent? Filter to the heavens. Yeah, I really just dislike most fake influencers, honestly.
And yet you hate them. Why? Because a lot of them are doing better than you and they don't have to do self-harm content. And yet, Chantal, you've been trying for years to become an influencer. You go on TikTok and you look for the hottest trends and what can I do on YouTube to go viral? You've been trying that for so long and nothing you've done has made you go viral. Well, one day you might go viral, but not for the reasons you want to go viral. So keep going.
They just gross me out.
It gross you out because you're jealous. You are jealous. You want to live a large and in charge lifestyle. You want to live the lifestyle of the rich and famous, and you are so jealous and envious and petty because you haven't achieved that yet.
You know, they just annoy me, especially today. Remember I went on that rant about 3 wick candles for $200?
Yep, that was during the Cuba rages. I remember.
Offer double the deposit. Who's going to pay for that?
Rocky the Rock says, Chantal, when you apply for an apartment, offer double the deposit. And she's like, who's going to pay for that? So she's not even planning on paying for the apartment. She expects somebody else to do it.
Hey, Nancy. I don't mind the Boston accent, but her, it's exaggerated and fake.
And how do you know?
There's proof that it's fake. When she started her online career, she talked normal. It's like, okay, and hers is like extra annoying. Because I actually like the Boston accent. Double the deposit. They can double kiss my grits. Nancy Botwin, welcome to Vermont.
That's true. I mean, Rocky the Rock isn't lying. If you have bad credit and there's a place that you want, maybe they might accept you if you put more money up front. You know, it's kind of a guarantee that you've got money. It's all relative to the landlord or the company and what they want to do, but sometimes they might accept that. Sometimes, not all the time.
I'm just going to live on the street then if I have to pay double deposit. No way.
Then that is strictly by your choice. And if that happens, that is by choice, because it's not that you don't have options. It's the fact that you don't like the options that are offered to you because they are not up to your foodie beauty standards. You want a luxury apartment, but you can't get into a luxury apartment. Many people, myself included, have said, go to an extended stay motel. You don't have to stay there forever. Maybe a month or two. Get yourself together, get your money up, look around. You might find something that's okay. You know, work your way up. The old-fashioned way. Just put some elbow grease into it. You got plenty. But no, you want to go home in style. And once again, you're looking for other people to pay for you going home in style when it was your fault that you left Canada in the first place over 3 years ago, and you could have stayed right where you were at, not chased a man around the world that don't like you, don't love you, is never going to accept you. You made those choices, and now you're saying to other people, it is your job to compensate me for my stupidity just because I'm on YouTube and you like me.
Fake. Pay double deposit and then have what, $50 left for Nashies and everything else? Bees, Halloween Beezer?
She's got more than that. Listen, Beezers, I know some of you guys come on over here. Listen to Mama Rose, all right? This 41-year-old, she's not broke. I don't care what she says. Y'all need to get it through your heads. I know she tries to sell that to y'all, but y'all shouldn't be buying it. She's got money socked away. She's got an emergency fund, and she makes money on YouTube, okay? She makes about $2,000, $3,000, maybe even $4,000 a month just off her YouTube earnings between the Google AdSense, the super chats, the memberships, the super thanks, plus all that money that you gave her with PayPal, plus her cameos, plus the Foodie content she does on the side, she's fine. She's just trying to milk you guys the last drop of milk in the udders that she can get out of you. And she don't care that the holiday season is coming up and you guys got to go for Thanksgiving and buy the food and buy the presents for Christmas, maybe plans for New Year's. She don't give a crap about that. That's your lives. That's not hers. Y'all need to stop giving. The moment that she realizes she ain't going to get another doggone dime out of y'all, then maybe she might think about going home, because right now she's motivated to stay where she's at because she's not paying rent and she thinks she can get more money out of all of you over there. Maybe by stop giving to Foodie, it might motivate her to go home.
Bastin. She is so acting, yeah. Jennifer. I don't know. Thanks for the suggestion, Rocky, but
I mean, I've had a few times in my life that I had to start over and I didn't have 10 grand, nor did I need it. What I did have in pocket, I made it work. You just make it work. So if I could do it with far less than what she's making, why can't she? And she makes far more than I do.
look, this is supposed to, I think this fits wrong. These are too small. I'm better than that? Better than what? Thank you, Donna.
Rocky the Rock says, as long as you show you can pay the rent on time, the 2 times the deposit will help you get accepted. Right. This is logical thinking, but she's not a logical person.
Are you fit to travel? I don't know. I didn't see a doctor yet.
Let's be real. Chantal has never been fit to travel. And every time she goes somewhere and she plops herself down for a month or 2, the situation gets worse. So in another 3 weeks, is she going to be ready for travel? No. It might actually be worse. And maybe that's what she's hoping for. There might be a chance she might be potentially just trying really hard to get bedbound. So maybe Syria keeps her there and Salah keeps her there. I don't know exactly what her plan is, but she always goes for the toxic end of the spectrum versus the healthy side. She does not want to leave Syria because she knows when she comes back to Canada, she's going to have to do some adulting. She's going to have to put her head down and work harder than she's ever worked, harder than she's worked in a long time. She's going to have to get her own place wherever that may be. And girl world, yeah, we're going to be throwing eggs at her face. Not in a literal sense, but in a figurative sense. Like, we're going to say, we told you so. And she does not want that egotistical pride injury.
I think mellifluous, what does that mean? Catlu, why do you come in here and take everything I say so literally?
So Catlu says, Foodie, help us understand the reality of living on the street in Canada. What makes you say it so flippantly? Yeah, because she treats it like it's no big deal. And I'm sure there are people on the street that would, say otherwise. That is not the cakewalk that she thinks it is.
You're always butthurt about something. How do you get through life? Being offended every day by every little thing people say. I could not. Can I contact a realtor? I don't know. I'll figure it out, guys.
She would be a realtor's nightmare. If she contacted a realtor and said, I've got this, and this as these issues, they're going to say, well, I don't know how we can help you. There's nothing we can work with here.
Figure it out. Figure something out. Good morning. Oh, did somebody join before? Hold on. Did I miss somebody? Oh, Nancy. Sorry. Welcome to Report Bees. Or did I give her a bees? Oh my gosh. I don't remember. Lindsay.
You know what, Foodie? If you don't know where you're going to live, you know what I'd be doing? I would be spending all of my daytime hours looking. I would be researching every site that's out there, every apartment hunting site. looking at extended stays, rooms, all of it. Since you are giving yourself 3 more weeks, I'd be spending every week an hour looking for a place and trying to figure out where am I going to go versus being on live stream for 3 freaking hours.
52 months, been a beezer for 5 years. That is so special. Ready, set, rebees. Thank you. Call the landlord you had in June. After telling him he's a joke? No. I don't want to live.
Ooh, look at this. Ooh. Who pegged Roger Rabbit says, I gave you money to get home, Chantal. I feel I've been made a fool of. You have. You have. And it's only going to get worse. When she goes home to Canada, and she's not going anywhere. She just plopped herself in a room somewhere. Doesn't take anybody anyplace. No adventures, no scooter, beezing down the street. People are going to be mad.
There. Oh.
But Chantal won't care because she would have already gotten the money. So once it's in her hand, it's gone. And something you should know, Beezers, for those that don't know, let me tell you about a situation that happened back in Crackhead Olympics. So the Beezers, the old school Beezers that were there with Chantal during Crackhead Olympics, they were so concerned about the welfare of BBJ and Sam. The fact that the cats never went to the groomers, ever. Never went to the vet, ever, despite the fact that, they needed to. That a wonderful Beezer, vegan for life, gave Chantal in a super chat, I would be $300 or $500, so that the vet visit could practically be free. You know what Chantal told that person? She said, you gave me the money, now it's mine. I can do whatever I want with it. Just letting you know. Just letting you know that if you give Chantal money for something and it's supposed to be for a certain something, she will not honor the agreement. Once it's in her hand, she can spend it any way she likes, and that's her attitude.
No, I'm not staying here. My refrigerator's running. Yeah, I'm going to be buffering here and then. Hey, Chili Chi. This is so awful. Don't hate me and cancel me. But I remember pranking people in the phone book when we had phone books.
All of her stories are from her childhood. It's so sad. 41-year-old woman, and she's been to 4 or 5 different countries, right? She's lived in Canada. She went to Kuwait. She went to Thailand. She's gone to Syria. Like, she's been a bunch of different places. No interesting stories. All of her stories revolve around her childhood. She always goes back to that.
As a kid, my friend and I would look up every person named Gaylord, and we would call them and prank them. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I know.
Okay, Pipsqueak says, maybe you should just stay there and you and Salah be roommates like you and Pete's were after the split. Would that work? Then it wouldn't be rude if you didn't want to socialize with this family. She can't live there. She's not part of the family. She's supposed to be a tourist. Tour, take some pictures, spend a minute, and then get out. She doesn't want to leave. Why should Chantal be somebody else's burden to bear? Do y'all over there think that she's the easiest person to live with? She is a food addict. She needs food all the time. And she don't care if it's 2:00 in the morning. If she wants an ice cream, she's going to wake you up out of a sound sleep to get you an ice cream. Do you think that it's easy living with her? Y'all are over there saying, why don't you go live with Salah and stay there? Why don't you go stay with Pete's? Y'all are like trying to pass her off to other people that don't want her, that can't afford her.
That was awful. The original plan was for end of October. Exactly, Christina. Yes.
And I did hear that Pete's did get a job. He is working, good for him. But I really hope he stays away from Chantal. I really do.
Hey, Kimby. I know kids are awful.
I mean, I might be taking a guess in the dark here, but if Chantal is over here saying that she can't get a place on her own, if Pete gets a job and he's working, and then he applies for a place where both of them can live, landlords, they like seeing that somebody's working, that there's some kind of verifiable income. So I don't know if that is his motivation for getting a job to further help Chantal out. But Pete, you've already been in this situation once. Remember? Why would you sign up for it again? But do what you want to do, bro.
I know kids are awful.
Like, I hope, Chantal, you're not using Pete to get into a place. But you probably are.
I was an awful kid. You like the
You're an awful human being, period.
color? Thank you, Zach. Yeah, there was like a couple. I think in Cornwall there was like a couple, and I think they got pranked often because he was like, if you kids don't stop.
I don't care for her. Shut up, Chantal.
Walaikum salam, Heidi. It's best.
Oh, there's a name that I haven't seen in a while. Just not another Vegas doll. Wow, some of the old beaters are coming back. I'm not exactly sure why, but they are.
For Julia, Alana, yeah. I'm sorry you fainted. Thank you. I'm gonna do things to prevent that from happening again when I travel. Okay.
And there she goes with the PayPal donations.
I just got to blow some bubbles and
there we go. So YouTube policy says you can't do any smoking on camera. So she's saying it's blowing bubbles now because she can't show herself smoking the shisha on camera.
So I'll turn my...
You're really going to hate it when you go back to Canada and you want to sit there in bees and do your edibles, and then you get a snack attack and you can't eat on camera and make your feeties happy. Ooh, you're not going to like that at all.
The camera off for now anyways. And I shall come back, inshallah, in a bit. I'm going for coffee. Okay, have a nice day. Yeah, I feel very grateful. Steve, we have no romantic feelings towards each other, so there's no point. And we probably never will. I mean, like, we never will. We're BFFs. Yeah, he's trans, or wanting to become trans. Plus, I'm not even out of my first marriage. Relax there. What the hell?
Yeah, that's another interesting detail. So Chantal is saying that for now, her and Salah are separated. But yet, she was on her way to the airport, no mention of a divorce. So if that was going to be her final trip, wouldn't you divorce your wife before she goes if it's over? No mention of it. None.
Aw, sorry, Teardrop. I hope you're getting a lot of rest. Pulling a muscle hurts so bad. The internet doesn't seem to be able to support me being on camera. He is family. He's like a brother.
That's really icky. She says, he's like a brother, yet it was a brother that you had a relationship with. You were sexually and romantically involved with, and you got pregnant by twice. But you're calling him a brother.
No, it's gotten a lot worse since Syria. So, and it's not Syria that's the problem, but Marry and divorce for 20K? Probably. Why not? No, I'm just joking.
No, she's not joking. She'll do anything for money. If somebody said, "Would you do this for 20K?" Chantal would jump at the chance. Like, she is completely for sale. She will sell herself out to the cheapest bidder. She don't care.
I actually, Agathon, I was watching I was watching Lockout Live's
And here we go. Harley Quinn says, "Girl, you said you'd be divorced when you left Syria. You weren't divorced yet?" No. Interesting detail, huh?
auditions, and they always make me cringe. They're funny. I love those. Yeah, he can be funny. You have to have a sense of humor, or else you're going to be in here and being like, how can you say those things? How can you, I have a sense of humor, and it's like all encompassing. I find things funny that probably would offend people.
I hate this comment right here. Ristana says, "It's great that you kept a friendship with one of your exes." I wouldn't exactly call what's going on with Foodie and Pete's a friendship, because she doesn't know how to be friends with people. She's not respectful. She does not respect people. She looks at them as resources, just pockets that she can reach her hand into to grab something out of. She's one of those people that she'll walk up to you and she'll talk to you. She'll figure you out. She will check you out. She'll ask questions. How much money you got? Who do you know? Do you have a nice house? You got a nice bank account? She's dialing all of this information back in her head about where she should put you on priority to see how much she can use you or try to use you. She's one of those.
Can't be serious in life, and that's why it's not going to work. To be here, I have to be extremely proper.
Like when Pete's had his money, when he got his inheritance, I'm sure she went to him and she was calling him every day and getting in his chat room, and like maybe she got some money from him. But the moment he went broke, no phone calls, no contact. And now here we are. Pete's is getting his life together. He went and he got a job, and he's going to be making money. And then look who's popping up in his chat room, Foodie, making herself known. That's because he is now a viable resource that she could use. That's, workable. She's got a need and she's looking for anybody who can help her with her need. And if they move in together, if she's going to move into the house and she's going to take over and she's going to be the bully and make him feel like a servant in his own house, and she's not going to care because, what's that? What did she say once? I just have to get into his house. Once she's in the house, she's going to establish herself. She's going to, dominate everybody else. So her deal might be get a hold of Pete's. Pete's has got a job. Pete's is going to have some money. He might have the power to get into an apartment, get us both into an apartment. And once I get there, I can just plop myself into a room and not have to worry.
I have to be extremely modest. I have to be extremely good housewife. I have to be extremely social. I have to be extremely everything I'm not. You make your own hours? That's awesome. It's way too dumb. Yeah, it's like a troll humor teardrop, I have some suggestions for that show though. I think they should do like it was hard in Kuwait too a lot of times, yes. But I just sucked it up and lived it because I loved Salah. I loved
what struggles do you have in Kuwait? You weren't struggling in Kuwait. Shut up.
Being there. I loved the cat. I didn't want to leave. Hey, Lily. Full moon. I think they should do like a lolcow IRL. None of this lolcow cafe thing.
Chantal, listen, you're over here on your dying tanking channel, despite the fact that you're a 100K channel and you've got beezers giving you money left, right, and center. You're over here talking about another channel that's making more money than you. I think you should be concerned for what's going on in your backyard before you climb the fence and start criticizing what's going on in other people's yards.
With like 100 views or 300 views, as I have 400, but I'm not a show. I'm like I don't know. They should do a lolcow IRL, because people seem
not Foodie with her dying tanking suck channel trying to give advice to other people how to run their channels.
to like whenever they do go out and do things, Yeah. Was Syria like what you expected? No, I thought it would be a lot worse, actually. I did.
You know what she expected when she came to Syria? She thought the same dynamic that she had in Kuwait with Salah would apply. She thought that, she could dominate Salah, tell him what to do, run him ragged. She didn't count on the family. She didn't count on the sense of community that exists in Syria. I told you, Foodie. I did a reading on it, and I freaking told you that if you went to Syria, the dynamic would be switched. The table would be switched all the way around. That you would not rule over Salah, he would rule over you. You wouldn't have the power that you once had in Kuwait. Was I wrong? No. No, you're completely at his mercy now. So it's not fun anymore. She doesn't rule the game, and she's running out of money, and she's got to leave.
Yep. I'm like extremely comfortable right now. I'm not hot. We have electric. There's a huge TV on. I have internet. I mean, it's crappy to go live, but I'm having an Arabic coffee, which is some of the best coffee in the world. I mean, I can't complain,
And this is dangerous. Let me tell y'all why. Someone like Foodie, you can't let them get too comfortable for too long. When you have got straight up a leech in your house, someone is acting like a tick. They're getting too comfortable, staying there, not paying rent, not paying bills. And you give them a comfortable environment. You know what happens? They don't want to leave. They get too comfortable a nest. You want them out, you got to make them as uncomfortable as possible. Salah made a mistake making her comfortable.
Everywhere I travel, I always have a piece of it in my heart, except for Cuba. That trip, I don't mean as a country, I mean that trip was just awful. And, okay, that's not true. Having coffee with you guys in the morning, there were some things that were nice. Thailand, yeah, I would say more the Middle East. I'll always have part of the Middle East in my heart. Oh my gosh, Lily, what song? Hopefully it wasn't Avril Lavigne. But I like Avril Lavigne. Yeah, I guess I did find God in Cuba, but it was just a really hard time. I'll be right back. I'm just going to use the facilities. Yeah, no, we don't listen to, I listen to Salah's music now. So
again, the similarities. When she was with Natter, she adapted part of Natter's personality. Whatever Natter didn't like, she didn't like. Unfortunately, Natter really doesn't care for animals. Was actually kind of mean to animals. So what happened? Foodie neglected her own animals. Didn't want to really feed them. Didn't want to take care of them just because she was around Natter. She adapted some of Natter's mannerisms and words. Like she tried to become like a shadow of Natter in a lot of ways to be accepted by him. And she listened to Natter's music. And now that she's with Salah, same thing.
Sultan Zamani. Sultan Zamani. Najwa Karam, George Wassouf, other people, I have no idea. Nice cat, Lou.
Oh,
I don't know. Cat Lou, is there any Chef Boyardee on sale right now? Syrup. Kept me from sleeping. Yeah, narcissists will do that. Yep, that's happened to me.
you are a narcissist. What do you mean?
I am who I am. Yeah. Chef Boyardee. Pumpkin spice Chef Boyardee. Hey, Marcus. The Amish. Yeah, that wouldn't be a lifestyle for me, but I mean, if that's for them, that's good. You know, not everyone will cruise with Lindsay. When's your next cruise, Lindsay?
Why are they talking about food in the chat? Oh, that's so annoying. Everything's got to be food with Foodie.
The beefy shroom.
I'm going ahead. I'm sorry. No.
Oh, my stomach. Ed Gein was good.
Why are y'all talking about food in the chat? I don't want to hear nothing about we care about Foodie Beauty and we're not bullies. When you're sitting there talking about food to a food addict, you idiots, you know what's going to happen. The more you talk about food, the more you mention food, the hungrier she's going to get. She's already said that she thinks about food 24/7, and y'all are just talking about food in the chat. So either you guys are stupid over there and you're not putting it together that you're mentioning food to a food addict, which is going to trigger the crap out of them to eat, or you might be feedies. Which is it? Which is it? Are you guys feedies and you want her to eat on camera? Or you're just not putting it together that she's a food addict and, you know, she's already making herself sick with food, and that's just going to make the situation worse.
Yeah. There was pressure in Kuwait too. I love ketchup chips. I gave Julia her chicken today. Her chicken cat food. Did you have your chicky chick today?
Oh, God, shut up.
Quiet. No. Yeah, exactly, Marcus. Right. Exactly. Look what Dee Dee's going through. So, yeah. We need a Kevin. Confuse attention with love. Yeah. Yeah. Or you catch feelings and then it's just hard. Like, you know. It's really hard.
Don't do it, Chantal. I feel what you're about to do. Don't do it, because I'll go off if you do it.
It confuses you, like, why they're acting that way, especially if you don't have experience with that, being in an abusive relationship.
Oh, she did it. She did it. She went there. Bitch. The nerve of you. The nerve of you. I am so tired of Foodie calling herself a victim. Do we really have to have this discussion again? I guess we do. Since she's bringing it up, then I'll bring it up. For those in Chantal's chat that might come over here, let me illustrate very briefly the differences between what other people might be going through or have gone through and Chantal's experience. She likes to quote stats that it sometimes take 8 or 9 out of 10 times for a DV victim to leave their abusers. I've been through DV, okay? So why does it take 8 out of 10 times? It could be something emotional, true. But in a lot of cases, the reason why the victims don't leave their abusers is because they feel trapped. They have no money. They have nowhere to go. They have no friends they can call. And there's an intense fear that if you leave and the person who has hurt you finds you, what the consequences are going to be. Now, when it comes to Natter and Chantal, the situation was different, very different. She never lived with Natter. Understand that. This wasn't a case of two people living together and Chantal felt trapped there because she had nowhere else to go. She didn't have any family or money or anything else. She had her own home. She had her own car. She could have stopped seeing him, talking to him anytime she wanted. But every time she saw Natter was by choice. She literally had to drive to his house to go see him. And then after she made all these allegations, she was sneaking off to go see him in motel and hotel rooms. And she made this wonderful, interesting comment that after she made the allegation, she said, I wish there were a way to keep the charges on him and keep being physical with him. So she wanted to hold that blackmail over his head and still get the benefits of seeing him, whatever the benefits were. Now, is that something that a real victim would say? Is that something that a real victim would think? No. No, that's someone who is writing a story on YouTube and involving some toxic elements of control, of manipulation. So she claims to be the victim. Still talking about Natter, still able to say his name without being triggered, without getting upset, which no real victim could do. Do y'all see through the lies here yet? Yeah, she's lying. She's not a victim. I'll tell you what she is, though. She's a predator. She preys on people. Many different ways she preys on people. She's a weak person who looks for weaker people to control, to manipulate, to dominate. She controls people with money, with blackmail, with lies, with threats. This is the kind of person y'all are subscribed to. This is the person she's been for years on YouTube. This is the person that I watched 8 to 10 hours a day for a year. And if you watch someone for 8 to 10 hours a day for a year straight, you kind of get an idea of who they really are, if they're showing that much of themselves in their life. And I can tell you with 100% confidence, she is not a victim. No matter how much she wants to be, she is not. She makes other people's into victims. She is a straight predator. Always has been, always will be. Hear me? I hope you heard me, because that's the way it is. She paints herself the victim so that nobody will ever suspect, will ever think that she is a predator. You know, the greatest trick that the devil ever played was convincing people that he didn't exist. Beezers, you're subscribed to a demon. Know that. Thank you.
So, but it will destroy you. Like, it will destroy you mentally even more than anything. Like, if the physical doesn't destroy you, the mental is the worst.
Chantal, shut the fuck up. You don't know anything what it is to be a victim. I'll tell you what's interesting though. You did slip once. You mentioned how you once worked at a battered women's shelter. So once I heard that, once I found that out, the light bulb in my head went off. Ding, 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 ding. So you worked at a battered women's shelter. You volunteered there. So I would imagine you being around women who'd actually been hurt. You might have heard their stories. And just like you do, you take other people's stories and make them into your own. So you logged in all of those experiences into your head. And then when you were seeing Natter, you brought those stories forth. Although some of the things that should have been there were never there. See, you've never been a real victim of DV. I can tell. You know, it takes one to know one. I'm looking at you, you're not one. Nope. When you're a real victim of DV, you can't get online and tell thousands of people what happened to you. Just can't do it. It's hard because as you're thinking about it, you're reliving it in your mind and it hurts. You got to open up all those scars and it's painful. You're reliving it. It's like a movie playing in your head. And as you're reliving it, you're reliving the fear, the anger, the being terrified. You're going through all of it again. And since you never went through anything, that part was missing. No visceral reaction. None. You can get online for 8 to 10 hours and talk about things that allegedly happened to you with no visceral reaction. And the fact that you kept going back and forth to Natter told me everything I needed to know. Everything. You went back, you kept contact when you didn't have to. And I will bet $1 million that you still talk to him. You still send him money. I'll put any amount of money on that. Because you're not the type to let people go. You don't let men go. You never have. Just about every ex you've ever had, you try to maintain contact with. You don't let people go. Even if they are toxic and abusive, allegedly, you don't let them go. You like to keep them in your back pocket like a stick of bubble gum. So you can stop with the victim narrative now. And just for the record, since we're here, while we're here, I'm going to let you know right off the bat, Chantal, you are not going to put the community through the same crap that you did before. I was there. I saw it all go down. You coming online, acting like a victim, milking your beezers for thousands of dollars, which led to people in your comments who were real victims opening up, which led to people in live chats opening up. Like, it opened up a lot of wounds. And it'd be different if you were a real victim, but you never were. So you were hurting a lot of people unnecessarily. You come forward talking about, I'm a victim, I'm going to be right here, bitch, to let people know how much of a liar you are and not to buy your crap.
So smoking irritation. Yeah, it irritates my allergies sometimes. Oh yeah, for sure, Lindsay. No doubt that's why he's in prison. Yeah.
And by the way, Beezers, back during Crackhead Olympics, Chantal made some nasty comments about she hopes that Dee Dee gets, hurt by Natter. So what real victim would say something like that? If you've been through it, why would you wish it on somebody else?
Yeah. Still smoke, you know what, sometimes.
There's somebody in the chat talking about maybe there might be in a hurtful situation. Like, I don't know this Beezer. I don't have to know this Beezer. If you're in a hurtful situation, get away from that person and stay away. You got to cut that person off. Like, do what you got to do to get away.
Maybe a women's shelter, Lily. I used to work at one. They're very nice.
There it is.
The ones I worked at, anyway. I know it's hard, though. Yeah, Christina, that's right. No, he should not be free at all.
Yeah. So, funny thing about that, Natter is actually out of jail. He's out. And this is just a theory. I have no receipts. This is just my logical thinking at work here. Chantal is saying she's having trouble finding a place to live. I wonder why. Is it because she's looking for a place in Montreal where he's at? I mean, Montreal is not the cheapest city. Ottawa would be. Cornwall would be. Could it be because she's looking for a place in Montreal and the rent there might be a little bit higher than other areas, but she's trying to find a place near Natter so she can go visit him? Perhaps.
Yeah, Lindsay, he did. But if they let him out, I have no faith in the justice system. Oh, wow, Heidi, really? I'm glad you got away from that. Jeez. Marcus, how did you keep going on mentally? Lots of drugs.
Now she's trying to insinuate that she had to do party favors when she was around Natter. When she was the big fool who was buying the party favors, doing the outhouse visits, and making sure to get booze to bring over to Natter. And that's another question that I have. If you're around someone with a nasty temper and they are abusive, would you bring them drugs? Would you bring them alcohol? Would you? Would that be a smart thing to do? So if he was so bad, why would she go to his house and be in an enclosed space with a man who is hurtful and bring the party favors too? Does that even make sense to anybody?
In 4 years. I know, it's insane. Yeah, maybe YouTube lover.
Ugh, this comment. Marcus says, how did you keep going on mentally when you were in the situation with Natter? Like he was putting her through it. Like he was putting her through it. When every time that she was around him, she chose to be there. She wouldn't stay away. She was losing her mind. When Natter had Dee Dee over at the house for a month, she was practically foaming at the mouth to go over there. I'm not a fan of Natter, but here is just my thoughts and my opinion. Chantal's crazy, okay? She is crazy. She is obsessive. She is obsessive. And my opinion, I think Natter wanted to spend time with Dee Dee. But I also think that he had Dee Dee come and stay at the house just to keep Chantal out and away. Otherwise, she'd be over there every day and calling him on the phone and like, hey, let's hang out together, because she would not give him a moment of peace. So he had Dee Dee at the house for a month, and Chantal was losing her absolute mind. She's just waiting for Dee Dee to go home, and Dee Dee wouldn't go home. And then Natter, being an idiot, He came online talking about, I'm going to get a restraining order. The Beezers found out, told Chantal, and then she's like, oh, yeah? How dare he? Well, I'm going to show him. And she did that whole live stream where she was filming herself going to the police. Although there was no proof, she actually talked to the police. What did we see that day? We saw her in the car. We saw her get out of the car and disappear for a while and then come back. We didn't go in the actual police station. So anything could have happened, but the threat was there. And maybe that was her way of scaring Dee Dee to go home to Montreal so that she could spend time with Natter and Gatineau. And then what happened? Dee Dee moved to Montreal with Dee Dee. So there's a sense of he wanted to get away from her. He didn't want to stay in Gatineau. So he moves in with somebody so that Chantal wouldn't bother him. And yet what happened? She kept driving back and forth to Montreal to see Natter. So who's the abusive one?
The system is rigged.
You know, like I'll say this to be fair. It takes two to tango. We're talking about two adults here. We've got a man and we've got a woman. And both had the power to say no. They both had the power to cut things off, and they didn't. And greed was involved. Natter wanted Chantal's money. He was playing her. She was playing him. And then all this drama happened. But they both had the power to say no, and they did not.
No, too cool. I don't remember that. No, Lindsay. Your eyes were going crazy. Yeah. I know. Man. If I do get a place, I'm going to come on live and jump up and down and be happy.
No, you're not. You're going to be miserable because you don't want to go home. You don't know how to do alone well. And I think that's another reason why you don't want to go back to Canada. You might be facing legal repercussions because you've not taken care of your bankruptcy and you've not talked to your bankruptcy trustee. And I'm sure that they want to have a nice little chat with you. But you know you, Chantal. You know you. You know that if you are alone in a room, you're going to lose control and your health is already bad. You're going to go wild. You're going to be taking the chemicals and eating the food, and your health is going to spiral that much faster.
Yeah, same in Canada, Christina. They love their stuff there. Hubbly bubbly. It is mint gum flavor, Lindsay. I've applied for so many teardrop. Landlord's Googling your name. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, well, get your ego in check and actually apply for places that might actually take you. Stop punching way above your weight.
It probably makes it a lot harder. I probably should be more afraid, yeah. All of it, yeah. No, I'm not gonna stay in pizza. You're on lemon lime. Ooh, yum. Hey, voiceless. A human chimney teardrop. Yeah, I bet, Lindsay. Nah, she's sleepy bird. Interest at all. in dating at all. So
And again, I'm so angry. Tiffany Dawn says, I saw Pete's got a job. That will help y'all get a place, right? Why is it Pete's responsibility to take in Chantal? He's a grown man. She's a grown woman. She makes more money than he does. What is wrong with you, Beezers? You're acting like Chantal is a child that needs to be taken care of. And if you guys want to give her your money, have at it. But why is it somebody else's responsibility to take her in and take care of her? Especially somebody who don't have very much and they're trying to put their life together. You know what a mess she is. And you want him to take her in with all of her mess, with all of her issues and burdens. You really want that? Pete is her ex. She should be leaving him alone. He's got his own issues to deal with. And if you put two people in the same house and they both have issues, you know what happens? The issues don't get solved. And Chantal and Pete, they both become horribly codependent on each other. It's what happened with the villa. There was nothing good that came from that. Y'all need to stop saying, oh, Pete can come along and help you. No, she needs to help her doggone self. Can we have an element of let's make Chantal independent versus codependent here? Hello?
I don't even think about that. Like, I just want to focus on, like, having fun, making better content, focus on myself, get my nails done. It is Sleepy Bird. Yeah.
It's amazing how you beezers are like, oh, Chantal, you're irresponsible with your money. Go to your mom and dad. Oh, you need help getting a place? Go to Pete's. You guys are like, just go to other people to have your problem solved. Her moving in with somebody is not going to solve her problems. Her growing up will.
No, Kingu. I'm not a lesbian, so I need to concentrate on Chantal. My little grandson had jeans on. Oh my God. I appreciate you. I would never ask people, who don't have much money to give.
I would never ask people who don't have much money to give, but yet you are asking. Every time you do a live stream and you post your PayPal link, you're kind of asking. Even if somebody has money, you shouldn't be asking because you make more money than they do. And you probably have more socked away than they probably got. You shouldn't be asking at all. You should be embarrassed to be a 100K YouTuber making the money that you make and asking for other people's money.
Give me anything. Just your being here. I love it. I only like it with like a half a pound of hamburger though. New outfit. That's what I always dream about lately and for a little while now. I did do a Ziggy Stardust one. The Bowie shirt was cute, eh, Christina? Yeah, right, Teardrop? I might get a part-time job, yes.
Ha 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 ha. I might get a part-time job doing what? What do you have the patience and the temperament for? Customer service? That's out. Can you imagine Chantal dealing with customers? She'd be so high on her hog. She'd get fired.
I just want to see if I can.
You can't. You really can't. And I'm not being a big old meanie head saying that, but it's been years since your last job, and the job market is brutal right now, Chantal. Absolutely brutal.
And then who knows? Yes, I'll find something. I want to find something I will enjoy doing.
And what do you enjoy doing? Name it. I want to know. One thing you don't enjoy doing is working for somebody else. You don't like having a boss. You don't like the boss telling you what to do or reprimanding you. You don't like having to clock in and clock out at certain hours and being to work on time, and you only got 30 minutes for lunch. So what job are you going to get where you can basically do what you want to do?
You got to eat no matter exactly. You don't have to smoke. You don't have to do drugs. You don't have to drink. But you have to eat. You don't have to eat junk, but it's in your face all day, every day, you know? And when something becomes your lifelong comfort, you honestly feel like you're losing a big part of yourself. It's really hard.
That's why you need to go to inpatient for your food problem. You need professional help. At the level in which you've built your addiction, you need professional help. Coming online and talking about it with your beezers, none of them are a psychiatrist or a psychologist or an addiction specialist. You need professional help. You need to go to a facility. Locked down, strict down inpatient where you can't sneak food in. You can have people bring food in. Your portions can be monitored. That's what you need. You'll never go there because then you'll be not in control. But that's the only thing that would honestly help you.
So I don't know. A job for money, not that I'll enjoy. Well, one that I'll enjoy and get money for. I don't know what kind of job I would like to do. Honestly, if I was in shape, I would love to work at Lush, but
Oh, jeez. I would love to work at Lush. Doing what? Would you be in the back loading up your purse with free samples to take home?
I don't think they would hire me.
Nope.
Spice Haven. Pete's ordered that. Did you like the Indian food, Pete? Cheese wieners? Not really.
Just talk about
Lobster mac and cheese? We were just like maybe 16, 17. She used to take me to see her nan.
every time she talks about food, I'm going forward.
And she's like, my nan makes the best mac and cheese.
Oh, bye.
Anything. If they confiscate them, they do, but I'm going to try. I need to bring them in. I need the med.
All the food talk. What is this? Stop it.
He loves being with his granddad, right? So he did not want to go. And
all these childhood stories. Next.
My grandma had 9 kids. Her first were twins. Wow. Coffee bees. Even if I do travel in the future, I'm not going to stay for months somewhere. I'm just going to go on vacation.
You need money for a vacation. Girl, if you're over here begging money from your beezers, you ain't got money for a vacation right now. And actually, if we're going to be real, let's be really real. You've had a vacation for the last 3 years. Vacation is over.
There's no way.
Like all that time that you spent in Syria, you're not paying rent, you're not paying bills. You had a long vacation.
Get some fish. My dad is 14. People call me a whale. It's like, and whales are better than humans, buddy. Whales are such majestic creatures, you know?
Yes, they are, but you are not. So I wouldn't call you a whale.
Yeah, right, Naomi. I don't want to, you know. Are you ocean mist? Sorry. Where are you? Fluffs? Like a low male voice? The fall of the House of Usher. Like, I'm like, do you know? He's like, you're not getting any money back. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I am, buddy.
Oh, here we go with the fake story. Chantal, if your mother was the co-signer of the apartment in Canada, no, you're not going to get any money back.
I'm like, I had to like throw him a screenshot. I'm like, legally, you can't keep my last month's rent if for damages, because he's like, I'll inspect the unit, and if I don't see one single scratch on the wall, you might get some of your deposit back. I said,
Well, that's fair. If you were there for a few weeks and you damaged the property, then that's what the security deposit is for. I don't see anything wrong with that.
oh, really? Okay, I don't think so. I said, you're going to transfer me back every dollar of my
No, 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 no. It doesn't matter if you stay in an apartment for 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years. You damage the property, you got to pay for the damage.
deposit, because it's illegal for a landlord to keep last month's rent and use it for deposit for damages. If you, and it's illegal for people in Ontario to ask for damage deposit. Hey, Lily. So you can't say I need a deposit for last month's rent and then use it for damages. That's not in the lease.
Didn't she break the toilet while she was there? I think I remember her saying that she broke the toilet. That's expensive.
And I got out of it because the lease only started July 1st and I left before July 1st.
Doesn't matter. You damage the property, you got to pay for the damage.
So I just gave him like, I think $500 to stay there for like a week or however long I was there. I'm nice that way. Like, I didn't like the guy, but I'm not going to, he let me move in early and I acknowledged that was nice of him. I think it was almost 2 weeks. So I gave him, I think like maybe five or $700. I can't remember. I said, I'll pay you for the time I was here, but give.
Well, that's part of the course, Chantal. If you move in, let's just say you move in like in the middle of the month, then the landlord's going to prorate the rent. I moved in the middle of the month and my rent was prorated. I had to pay rent for the 2 weeks plus then rent again on the first, for the month. That's normal.
Give me my deposit back. Yeah, renting is a pain. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. Home ownership is expensive too, but it just depends. I didn't count exactly how much I raised between it's hard to tell with the super chats and that.
Oh, you know how much you have in pocket. You know how much you raised, or you can go back to PayPal and like add everything together. You don't want to tell people to keep the money flowing in.
But I made enough basically, SB. I have in savings for a month of rent. Basically around 2,200.
Lies. She got her YouTube check on the 22nd. That was at least 2 or 3K. Then she got another almost $1,000 on PayPal. Girl's got at least 4 or 5K, unless she spent it all
for the rent and from the donations money. But I put like a bit of other stuff. But I had to pay a lot of stuff this time. Like, I'm still paying down an expensive debt and it should be finished soon.
The money that people gave you wasn't for your doggone debt. It was to get you to Canada. That's why they gave the money, to get you there. And if you chose to take that money and pay it towards your debt, which I don't believe at all, you're an idiot.
But I put a bit of my own money towards, and also there's like some super chat donations that I'll get.
You know what, Chantal, if you're asking for other people's money, this should not be a case of I'm going to put a bit of my money in. What you should do is put all your money in. If your beezers are going all in, so should you.
And at the end of October. So, and then, so I also paid for my plane ticket.
The ticket was already bought.
So, and lounge access.
that was not needed. She did not need lounge access. That was a luxury. What person who's basically looking to go somewhere, they start spending their money stupidly on luxuries like lounge access? That's not needed.
Really, Lily? Yeah.
Do y'all beezers see what's going on here? So you gave her money to move back to Canada. She's like, I took part of that money and put it towards my debt, which you weren't giving money for a debt. All these live streams like, I need to get back to Canada. I need to get back to Canada. I need to get back to Canada. The money you give me is going to get me back there. That's what 100% of the money is supposed to go for. But no, she's like, I got to pay off my debt. And then I took part of the money and I got lounge access. Like, this is why you can't trust her with money. Burns a hole in her pocket.
You should try to get out. You'll feel so much better in the long run. You won't be afraid and stressed out. So protect your peace. That's the most important. So yes. Honestly, just look at his channel. Like, does he really strike you as a good person? Like, seriously.
Are we talking about Natter again? The victim is talking about her abuser again when she doesn't have to.
It's not surprising. I don't know.
Oh, she's talking about somebody else.
Lounges are nice. But yeah, it's a good idea, SB. It's just I get more stressed out leaving the airport. But maybe I'll consider it. I don't know. I might sleep in the lounge with my CPAP. They have a quiet room. I'll just ask if I can use my CPAP. I don't know. Imagine.
Why can I can't picture that. Her being in the lounge of an airport and plugging in her CPAP and sleeping in the lounge. Would that even work?
Yeah. 13 hours in a lounge. Yeah. I don't know. You get free food also. You don't get free food at a hotel.
And that's why she wants the lounge. Free food.
Gore World. Gore World is just no. I'm sorry, but I don't think it's good. Private space. I'll be alarming. Okay, guys, give me a minute. I'm gonna take an intermission and use the washroom and illness. I think it probably exacerbates some disorders. AFib. I like having a clear mind, but at night when there's nothing to do, sometimes just to unwind and feel, it is nice to secret spill, right? Comes from not, being forced. He's with his second wife. Well, it's not my business, really. If we agree to move on, I'm sure that will happen at some point.
And don't you know, if Salah is involved with another woman, Foodie is taking great pleasure in knowing that she is essentially, because she's squatting like a toad in the house, that if there is a first wife or a second wife or another family, that she's essentially blocking Salah from bringing the family to the house. As long as she stays there, the family's not going to be there.
But whatever. Yeah, you'll keep making the same mistakes. Luke. No matter how minuscule. And when there's money involved, it's even harder. They're going to invent things to say, you know?
Was
Like,
she talking about Girl World? No, that's you. You invent things to say.
it's just whatever. Oh, yeah, Dee, right. Yep. Hate all you want. I mean, I don't know. Thanks, Night Owl. There are people like you coming to see for yourself, and you stay and you bees.
Yeah, but how long will they stay? I'm telling you, Foodie, when you go back to Canada, and then again, this is not me being a big old meanie head. I'm just seeing far down the road. When you go back to Canada and you show who you really are, a lot of new beezers, the new faces are going to be shocked. And they're going to be ticked off because they're going to feel lied to. They're going to feel led on. All the promises that you keep making to people about, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to start my new life. When they see how toxic you really are, there's going to be a mass exodus of people off your channel. And all the people that gave their money for this new life are really going to be angry. You know, somebody said something somewhere, and I wish that I could credit that person. I think it was on Twitter. They used a good word. They referred to the Peasers who gave you money for this new life as investors. And I like that because it's appropriate. Those of you that have given Chantal money, you are acting as investors. You are investing in Chantal's future and in her life and in better content. Are you not? Yes, you are. So you as investors, you are investing your money into something worthwhile. Well, when you are an investor, you want a return on your investment. You want to see a return of some kind. The bigger, the better. When Chantal gets back to Canada, and the people that are functioning as her investors, when they figure out that there's going to be no return on their investment, as a matter of fact, they got scammed, guess what happens? They're not going to invest any more into her. Not their money, not their time, not their views, nothing.
Unblock beezers. I'm sure I'll be blocking a lot more when I get home. I did unblocking Bees and Pete's chat. Yeah, usually when I'm there, someone says, Foodie, you blocked me. I don't even remember why I block people most of the time. Teardrops Pete's hair.
I'm already foreseeing that when Chantal gets to Canada and the people that gave her money, when they start complaining, they're like, Chantal, I gave you money for a place or better content and you're not doing anything. That block finger is going to be busy. That's going to be the skinniest finger on her hand. It's going to get such a workout. When people start complaining about the fact that she lied, they're going to call her out. She's going to get angry and she's going to block.
Morning routine, like my routine is unplug the CPAP, pet the cat, feed the cat, scoop her box, plug the fridge, use the washroom. Usually make some breakfast or usually make breakfast and then we order out dinner. Sometimes I make dinner, but sometimes we go out for.
So basically, she's showing up. She's saying, this is the routine of my day. The routine is nothing. She does nothing. And she's got 3 weeks to find a place and figure out where she's going to go. And she does nothing.
Dinner. Yeah, different houses. You have to buy your own battery. Salah bought a solar system, like when
You know what? She's giving me a headache. Can we cut out early, please? Thank you. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this react. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.